Chen walked through the crowded hallways of Riverside High School with her head down, clutching her books tightly against her chest. At 17, she had learned to make herself invisible. Her dark skin and quiet demeanor made her an easy target in this predominantly white school, where whispers followed her like shadows. Nobody knew about the hours she spent in her grandfather's dojo every evening. Nobody knew about the black belt hidden in her bedroom drawer. Nobody knew that beneath her oversized hoodie and gentle smile lived the heart of a warrior. "There's the scholarship girl," Jessica's voice cut through the morning chatter like a blade. The blonde cheerleader stepped directly into Maya's path, flanked by her usual crew. Brad Thompson, the quarterback with his Letterman jacket, and Kyle Martinez, whose father owned half the town, formed a wall of intimidation. Maya tried to step around them. "Excuse me, I need to get to class." "Oh, you need to get to class?" Kyle mocked, his voice dripping with false concern. "What's the rush? Afraid they'll take away your free lunch?" The hallway grew quiet. Students stopped to watch, their phones already recording. Maya's jaw tightened, but she kept her voice steady. "Please, just let me pass." Brad stepped closer, his breath hot against her face. "You people think you can just waltz in here and take what's ours. This isn't your school." "This school belongs to everyone," Maya replied, her grandfather's lessons echoing in her mind. "Respect others, but never let them steal your dignity." Jessica's laugh was sharp and cruel. Listen to her trying to sound smart. "Maybe you should go back where you came from." The words hung in the air like poison. Maya's hands trembled slightly, but not from fear. It was something else entirely. Something dangerous. "I am from here," Maya said quietly, meeting Jessica's eyes. "I was born in this town, just like you." Without warning, Jessica's hand flew through the air. The slap echoed through the hallway like a gunshot. Maya's cheek burned with the sting, but something else burned brighter inside her chest. Something that had been sleeping for too long. The crowd gasped. Phones captured every second. Maya touched her cheek slowly, feeling the heat spread across her dark skin. She looked up at Jessica, and for the first time in months, she smiled. Maya's smile was not what Jessica expected. It was calm, controlled, and somehow more terrifying than any scream would have been. The hallway fell silent except for the sound of shuffling feet as students pressed closer. "That was a mistake," Maya said softly, her voice carrying a weight that made Brad take an unconscious step backward. Jessica scoffed, but her confidence wavered. "What are you going to do about it? Cry to the principal?" Maya shifted her stance slightly. To most observers, it looked like she was just adjusting her backpack. But her feet moved into a perfect fighting position, her weight balanced, her center of gravity lowered. Her grandfather's voice whispered in her memory, "A true warrior never seeks conflict, but when conflict finds them, they must be ready." "I'm going to give you one chance to apologize," Maya said, her tone even and measured. Kyle laughed harshly. "You hear that, Brad? The little princess wants an apology." He reached out to shove Maya's shoulder, but his hand never made contact. In one fluid motion, Maya caught his wrist and twisted. Kyle yelped in pain as he found himself spun around, his arm bent at an uncomfortable angle behind his back. She held him there for exactly 3 seconds before releasing him with a gentle push. Kyle stumbled forward, his face flushed with embarrassment and confusion. "What the hell was that?" "A warning," Maya replied calmly. From the crowd, a familiar voice called out. "Leave her alone." Jake Miller pushed through the circle of students, his phone held high, still recording. The tall, lanky sophomore had always been kind to Maya in their shared chemistry class. "I got everything on video. The slap, the racist comments, all of it." Brad's face darkened. "Mind your own business, Miller." "This is my business," Jake shot back, his voice shaking but determined. "Bullying is everyone's business." Jessica's eyes narrowed as she noticed more students pulling out their phones. "You think you're so tough now?" she spat at Maya. Meet us after school in the parking lot. Let's see how brave you are without your little audience. Maya looked around at the faces surrounding her. Some showed support, others curiosity, and the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the school parking lot as Maya walked toward her grandfather's old Honda. She had hoped the confrontation would end with the morning incident, but she knew better. Bullies like Jessica never back down from a challenge, especially not in front of their followers. Well, look who showed up, Jessica's voice rang out from behind a row of cars. She emerged with Brad and Kyle, along with 3 other students Maya didn't recognize. They had brought reinforcements. Maya stopped walking and slowly set her backpack on the ground. Around the parking lot, car doors slammed as students who had been waiting for rides suddenly found reasons to linger. Word had spread quickly through social media. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. 6 against 1? Maya asked, rolling her shoulders to loosen the tension. Those aren't very fair odds. Brad cracked his knuckles menacingly. Should have thought about that before you embarrassed Kyle this morning. You embarrassed yourself, Maya replied, her voice steady as granite. She could feel her grandfather's training flowing through her muscles, 20 years of discipline and technique awakening like a sleeping dragon. Kyle charged first, his fists swinging wildly. Maya sidestepped with the grace of a dancer, grabbed his extended arm, and used his own momentum to send him tumbling across the asphalt. He rolled twice before coming to a stop against a parked car, groaning. Aikido, Maya said simply, as if she was teaching a class. The art of using an opponent's force against them. Brad came next, trying to tackle her around the waist. Maya dropped low, swept his legs with a precise kick, and watched as he crashed face first into the pavement. Blood trickled from his nose as he struggled to get up. Basic judo sweep, she explained to the growing crowd. Balance is everything. The 3 unknown students hesitated, suddenly realizing they were dealing with someone far beyond their understanding. But Jessica, her face twisted with rage and humiliation, pulled something from her purse. A small canister of pepper spray. Let's see you fight your way out of this, she snarled, raising the weapon. Maya's expression hardened. This had crossed from bullying into assault. In one explosive movement, she closed the distance between them. Her hand shot out in a perfect knife hand strike, hitting the pressure point on Jessica's wrist. The pepper spray clattered to the ground as Jessica cried out in pain. Before Jessica could recover, Maya spun behind her and applied a gentle but firm sleeper hold. Taekwondo precision strikes, followed by Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu submission technique, she whispered in Jessica's ear. I could put you to sleep in 5 seconds, but I won't. Because unlike you, I know when to stop. She released Jessica, who stumbled forward gasping. The wail of sirens cut through the afternoon air as Principal Rodriguez and 2 security officers rushed into the parking lot. Behind them came several teachers, drawn by the commotion and the crowd of students recording everything on their phones. What is going on here? Principal Rodriguez demanded, his voice booming across the asphalt. He stopped short when he saw Brad's bloodied nose, Kyle clutching his shoulder, and Jessica still gasping for breath. She attacked us. Jessica wheezed, pointing a shaking finger at Maya. That girl is dangerous. Maya stood calmly in the center of the chaos, her hands at her sides, her breathing steady. She looked nothing like someone who had just taken down 6 opponents. That's not what happened. Jake Miller stepped forward, his phone held high. I recorded everything. They cornered her, made racist comments, and attacked first. Maya was defending herself. Show me, Principal Rodriguez said grimly. The crowd gathered around as Jake played the video from the beginning. The audio was crystal clear, Jessica's slur about, you people, the demand to go back where you came from, and the unprovoked slap that started it all. Then came the parking lot footage, showing 6 students surrounding Maya, Kyle's wild charge, Brad's attempted tackle, and Jessica's pepper spray. This is assault, harassment, and hate speech, Principal Rodriguez said, his face growing darker with each passing second. Ms. Thompson, Mr. Martinez, Mr. Hawkins, you're all suspended pending a full investigation. The school board will be hearing about this. Security Officer Martinez was already on his radio, calling for backup and requesting that the local police be notified. We're going to need statements from everyone, and copies of all these videos. Maya finally spoke, her voice carrying across the lot. My grandfather always taught me that strength without justice is tyranny, but justice without strength is powerless. Today, I found the balance. An older man pushed through the crowd, his weathered face creased with concern. Maya's grandfather, Chen, had arrived to pick her up as he did every day. He took one look at the scene and nodded approvingly at his granddaughter. You used only what was necessary, he asked quietly in Mandarin. Only what was necessary, grandfather, Maya replied in the same language. Principal Rodriguez approached them both. Mr. Chen, your granddaughter showed remarkable restraint today. She could have seriously hurt these students, but she chose not to. 3 weeks later, Maya walked through the same hallways with her head held high. Students nodded respectfully as she passed, some even stopping to say hello. The viral videos had spread beyond Riverside High, sparking conversations about racism and bullying throughout the district. Maya. Jake Miller jogged up beside her, a clipboard in his hands. We have 23 students signed up for the martial arts club already. Even some teachers want to join. Maya smiled, adjusting the new club president badge on her jacket. Self-defense and self-respect go hand in hand. My grandfather is excited to help teach. The school had implemented new anti-bullying policies, with mandatory diversity training for all students. Jessica, Brad, and Kyle had been expelled, their college scholarships revoked. But Maya felt no satisfaction in their downfall, only hope for positive change. At lunch, she sat with a diverse group of students who had formed around her leadership. The martial arts club had become something bigger, a symbol of standing up for what was right. You know what my grandfather told me yesterday? Maya said, unwrapping her sandwich. He said that sometimes one person's courage can wake up an entire community. Through the cafeteria windows, she could see her grandfather setting up equipment in the gym for their first official club meeting. Students of all backgrounds were already gathering, ready to learn not just fighting techniques, but the deeper lessons of respect, discipline, and justice. Maya Chen was no longer invisible. She had become a beacon of hope, proving that strength used wisely could transform more than just a single moment, it could transform an entire school. The quiet girl had found her voice, and Riverside High would never be the same.